Hi everybody, my name is Rachel and welcome to the French Seams. Thanks so much for joining me again for another video. This is going to be a little roundup of everything I got made in February. So February was a short month, but it was an interesting month. So I had a few lovely plans that I managed to get all of them done, which I'm very, very grateful for. So the month started off very nice. We had my little boy's first birthday, which was lovely. So he wore his little lion jumper. So if you watched my previous videos, you see I made him a little lion jumper, Poppy and Jasmine, which looked super cute. I did end up making him a lion cake. So I'll pop in a picture here. So if you use your imagination, it looks like a lion. Let's just leave it at that. Baking is not my strong point. And it was lovely. And then we had Valentine's Day, and we do celebrate it here. Myself and my husband love a Valentine's Day, so we had a nice day with that as well. And then unfortunately after that, the inevitable, what we've been avoiding for the past 2 years, unfortunately. So yes, we all did get sick. So you can probably still hear it in my voice. Apologies if I'm still sounding a bit nasally, a bit strange, but we've all recovered now. And thank you so much for all the well wishes on Instagram. So my 2 little boys managed to escape with barely, if any, symptoms. Myself and my husband were a little bit poorly, but we're all better now again. So we're very, very grateful for that. So I did manage to get a little bit of sewing done. I have got my overlocker back, which is fabulous. I've missed her so much. So thank you to Anne-Marie in the Crafty Studio who looked after the servicing. So it was in dire need of a service. So yeah, it's back in perfect running order and it's like new. It's fabulous and it's clean. Who knew that the insides, you should be able to see them? It's so great. So yeah, I'm delighted to have the overlocker back. I really, really missed it. But anyway. So that was a little roundup of our February. So I'll start with what I'm wearing, and this is the Waves and Wild Hot Coffee hoodie. So I'm really pleased with this. It's a nice little hoodie, comes down to about here. I did make the crossover hood option, which I really like, this fold over neckline, which is lovely. It does come in a cowl option and a round neck as well, I believe. And it's just a really, really nice relaxed fit hoodie. The fabric is beautiful. It's from Carlo Fabrics in this lovely leaf print, which is absolutely beautiful. I think the colours in this are just stunning. And I lined it then with some grey here, and I had some cuffing left over which matched really well as well. So yeah, delighted with this make actually. I'd never made this before, and I think I will make a few more because they're super comfortable. So I made a straight size medium, which matched my measurements pretty much exactly. I think I am just a standard medium in the Waves and Wild sizing. I didn't put on the kangaroo pocket, I just left that bit off. I didn't really want to pattern match or anything here, and I don't think it really needs it. What I did find is that the cuff pattern piece was a little bit tight going into the sleeve, so it was just that little bit too small. So there's a bit of kind of tapering here, so if I made it again I would have made these slightly bigger. And also with the hemband, it was quite short I think, and it gave a very tapered look, so I ended up unpicking the whole thing and redoing it and adding a little bit in the back. So there's 2 seams at the back, but I don't think you'd really notice. So I really like the way it hangs now. It's not too tight around my hips. I added 1 inch to the sleeves, which came up really, really well. And I ended up taking off 1.5 inches off the bodice. When I was measuring it just on the ground, I think I measured it against a hoodie that I had originally. I ended up taking off about 1.5 inches, which is very rare for me. I rarely remove such a large amount from a bodice piece, but now I think that the fit is absolutely perfect. So I'm glad I did remove that. Otherwise it just would have been that little bit too long. So really, really liked it. It was a really nice, enjoyable make. This fabric is beautiful to work with. There is a lovely neck binding as well. So I'll pop in a picture here. So it's different to the Maided Patterns Hug Hoodie binding, which is really interesting. So I filmed the one for this, and I'm going to film another one now for a hug hoodie to show you how I put in the 2 neck bindings. So it's a beautiful little design feature. I think it looks really, really nice. And I know a lot of you were very interested when I showed you my previous video, my hug hoodie about the neck binding. So now I found out there's another way of doing it. I'm going to record those and I'll have them for you maybe next month, I believe. So, but it looks really, really nice. And of course I put in a little label as well. So it's just a really, really nice hoodie. I don't think I have anything else on my notes to say about it. So I think I would make it again. I think the cowl looks really nice, and it's not really a drop shoulder, but slightly drop shoulder here, which gives it a lovely relaxed finish. And I just love this neckline here, the crossover. I think it's really nice. And my husband has said he wanted one too, which is really nice. He rarely says that. So when I told him that they do a man's pattern, which is also called the hot coffee, and I believe they do a children's version, which is called the hot chocolate. So I think we might end up all wearing our Waves and Wild hoodie. So this was my first make, and I'm really, really pleased with it. So my second make comes from this book, which is just wonderful, and it is my beloved Freya. And if you've watched my channel, you know how much I love this pattern now. And I've made the cowl neck again. So I made it in this absolutely beautiful fabric from Beyond the Pink Door. Let me hold it up for you properly. Here you go. So it's a, it's called off-white, but it's quite a beautiful white, and it's a Lurex fabric, slightly jacquard, and it's got the lovely, if you can see the little bits of glitter here, I just think it's so nice. It's a lovely stretch to it, a lovely weight, and I got this as 2 remnant pieces. So I got one piece at, I think, 0.8 of a metre, and the other piece 0.6 of a metre, and I just managed to squeeze this out. So the cuff and the hem are very small, but I did manage to squeeze the whole amount out of those 2 remnant pieces, which is great. And because the cowl piece itself is quite fabric hungry, so you need 2 of these to make the cowl. So I was really pleased that I managed to use up every available scrap of this beautiful fabric. I just think it's so gorgeous. And I've hidden my little label in here like I did for my other cowl neck. I think it's a really nice detail, so a little Kylie Machine one saying yay, and it's just a beautiful Freya, so I'm really pleased that I think it came out so nicely. And there's a beautiful drape to the cowl as well in this fabric, which worked out really well. It's quite weighty as well, so it does give a very nice drape and finish to the front of it. I think it's so nice. So I did wear this for my little boy's birthday party. There was only the 4 of us at his birthday party, the poor thing, but I did wear this, which was quite ambitious really, given it was a 1-year-old's birthday party and there was a quite orange cake. But I did manage to avoid most things, which was great. And it has been through the wash, and it's worn and washed very well. And I just love the little bits of glitter. I think it's so pretty. So yeah, so maybe a white jumper to a 1-year-old's birthday party. Not the best idea, but we did get away with it in the end. And I just think it's so nice. So really pleased with this. With the Freya, I make a size 4 grading to a size 5. And I add 1 inch to the sleeves and then 1.5 inches to the length as well. That's my standard Freya, and it just fits perfectly. And as well, this fabric, it's quite stretchy as well, but it still managed to hold its shape as well. And despite it being kind of bumpy and ridgy, it sewed up very nicely. Yeah, my sewing machine overlocker didn't have any trouble with it at all. So Andrea does have this in navy. It's absolutely gorgeous. We'll see how long I can resist that. So that was make number 2. So if you've been watching my Vlogmas, I got the Beyond the Pink Door Advent calendar. Yes, super lucky to get one of those. And in it, there was the most beautiful heart fold over elastic. And I was really keen to use it. So I had a little look on the Fold Line website for a pattern that would be suitable. I was thinking maybe a little tank top. And I came across the Made It patterns Go Shorties and Go Cami. So I just made my Hug hoodie, which is also Made It pattern. So I was delighted to find another pattern from that company. I found them really good. So I was able to whip up one of these. So this is my Go Cami, which I'm really pleased with. I was able to use little scraps of this fabric. This was I made a Freya from this I think just before Christmas, this Beyond the Pink Door cotton jersey, navy cotton jersey, and I think it works out really well with the little purple fold over elastic. So I had never used fold over elastic before, so I think I did it right. I'm not quite sure. If you'll let me know. So are you meant to have 2 lines of stitching on the back? I think you are, because you attach it one side and then fold it over to the right side and then top stitch. So I edge stitched in the end and didn't top stitch because I wanted to be able to see all the hearts. So I just did it at the very edge here with the little zigzag. And I think the front is probably better than the back. The back is a little bit gathered, but when it's on, you wouldn't notice at all. So I was just really pleased to use this beautiful bit of fold over elastic. I thought it was really cute. So it's just a little tank top, but I think for the summer it'd be really nice for layering as well. I made the size 12 in this, which matched my measurements. I should have actually graded to a 14 at the hips. I tried it on, I ended up making the tiniest seam allowance towards the bottom. I could really have done with grading out to a 14 at the hips, but I suppose it's meant to be a kind of a snugger fit really. But yeah, just really happy with my my first time trying with the fold over elastic. I thought it was really cute. So very happy with this. And then it does come with matching shorties, so they're called the Go Shorties, and there's 2 versions to this pattern. There's view A and view B. View A has more, I think it has the kind of the more knickers elastic, and then view B has the enclosed elastic, or you could do exposed elastic, and then it also has options for color blocking. So I'll put in a few pictures here. So what I did was I actually did the view A in that I didn't colour block them, but I used view B for the enclosed elastic. So here are my shorties. So yeah, it was a kind of a trial, which is why they're black on the front and navy on the back, because that's all the scraps I had. So this is them. So it's enclosed elastic here, and then it's just kind of like a band for the legs. So I do like them. I'm not sure I'm convinced on making my own knickers. I don't know. I know some people love making them and I can see the appeal, but We'll see. I know it might be different if I got the Pico elastic and that kind of stuff, but I was just really interested to try these and see how they fit. So I made these in a straight size 14. The finished garment measurements are very good. It gives the rise and things, so it's great. You can kind of measure to see what's the best fit for you. But because these were a complete trial, I just made it straight out of the pack, size 14, and they actually fit really, really well. So they're very nice. I think I might wear these maybe during the summer, you know, as kind of bedclothes for me if it was very, very warm. She said, hoping we get a good summer. But I'm just not convinced I'll make an entire wardrobe full of these. But anyway, I'm really pleased I tried. For the elastic at the waist, it says to fold over your waistband and put in your elastic and then sew it in, as in to sew just at the very, very edge of the elastic, and then put it onto the knickers and then sew them both together at the seam. So I tried that first and I kept catching the elastic and I didn't really like how that worked. So I did what I usually do with these kind of elastic waistbands is I attach the waistband to the top, leaving a little gap, and then I insert the elastic, sew the elastic closed, and then finish off the little gap. And I just think that works much better and it's so much easier. So that's what I did with this. The one nice thing about this pattern is it does give the burrito gusset. So yeah, in case you're wondering, which gives a very, very nice finish. So yeah, no, I was happy with these, but I definitely would make the Go Cami again. Not quite sure I'd make the Go Shorties, but I was just very, very interested to see how they came out. So that was a very nice experiment. So with Made With Patterns, their instructions are really, really nice, and they do have very clear pictures and little kind of tips and hints along the way. So I really, really like that. The pattern is layered as well, which I find super useful. So I just love patterns now that come layered. I just think it's so much easier because I do, more often than not, I print out the PDF and have to stick them together, and it's just so much easier than if you just have one line to follow when you're cutting out. So as I said, I didn't use any alterations for the Go Shorties. I should have really for the Go Cami, so I'll know that in future. So yeah, so that was my adventure into, we call them underwear, more kind of loungewear, bedwear, but we'll see. So very, very happy with them, and I would recommend Made With Patterns. They're just kind of new enough to me, but I would really recommend them, and I'm going to look out for more of their patterns. Next up are two little things for my older boy. So in my last video, I mentioned how nice Carlo Fabrics were to put in a little bit of this digger fabric into my order. So I was so grateful. Thank you so much. And I did actually have just enough to squeeze out a little jumper for him. So he's going to be super happy with this. I'll give this to him now later, because it's only just finished. So this is the strawberry sweatshirt from Poppy and Jazz, but I did alter it. I used the neckline from the kids pajamas pattern I use. Is it called Made by Me or Hand Wardrobe? Oh, I've forgotten. I'll put the name in here. Apologies. So I changed out the neckline, that because I find the Poppy and Jazz strawberry sweatshirt neckline just much, much too wide, and it came out really well. So I had the little scrap here as well, which is the same as this. So I had a little tiny bit left over, which is great. And it just came out really well. So I just managed to squeeze it in, and I think this fabric is fabulous. He'll really, really enjoy this. So delighted with that again. I make him a size 4 to 5 in the bodice and a size 3 to 4 in the sleeves, which matches perfectly, and he's 3.5. So yes, another little great make. So thank you very much, Carlo Fabrics, for that little bit of fabric. Very much appreciated. And then I also made him a little pair of pants to match my ones. So we're fully potty trained now. Delighted. So yes, so I won't be making myself any more pants, but I will be making them for him, because this is just the best scrap buster ever. So a little bit of the black jersey left over from that, which is now fully depleted. And with these, sorry, I should say this is the Waves and Wild Speedy pants, which I've made a few of these from now before, and they work really, really well. So, and they're exactly the same as the Go Shorties, actually, with the little band at the waist and the legs, except they just don't have elastic here. You just don't need it for the smallies. For this pattern, it doesn't have the burrito gusset, but I now was able to use my knowledge of the Made With Patterns Go Shorties to be able to enclose the gusset on the inside, which I think gives a much, much nicer finish. So that was a win, actually, being able to use one method from one pattern as knowledge for my next pattern. So super cute, and these are just great for kids. They come in a great size range as well. So if you do want to use any scraps for these, they're really, really handy. So they were a little make for my boy this month. And my last make for February, which I think is maybe my favourite actually, is this one. So this is the Nielsen Jarrah sweatshirt in this beautiful jacquard fabric from Beyond the Pink Door. So actually 2 jacquard fabrics this month, that's great. So in this beautiful teal colour with these lovely ridges, it's really, really nice. And you can actually iron it and press it, which is great. I was so afraid at the start, but it comes out fine. So this is the Jarrah sweatshirt. I'd never made one before, and on my last video I had asked about what view to make, so thank you so much for that. So view C1 out. So I'll pop in the breakdown for any of you who saw my video that I shared that I do have a sewing spreadsheet. Yes, I am that kind. So yes, I did do a pie chart to show which one won, which, yeah, it amused me. But yes, my sewing spreadsheet is now growing. I've got so many plans. Oh my goodness, yeah. So much to plan and so little time. Anyway, I digress. So this is the this is view C, which has the cuffs at the bottom. I was going to make the split, but then I realized that I roll up my sleeves the whole time, so there was no point doing long cuffs. And I did the tie at the bottom, which came out really, really well. So my measurements put me in a bust size 8, and then a waist size 12, and a hip size 14. So that was really kind of going across 4 sizes. But looking at the finished garment measurements, it just gives the bust and the waist, and that's 44 inches. So my bust is 36. So I thought actually a straight size 8 would be absolutely fine, and that's what I went with, and it was absolutely perfect. It came out really, really well. So I was glad I didn't grade. I think it would have been far, far too big if I'd graded out to a size 14 on the hips. So what else did I do? I added 2.5 inches to the bodice, otherwise it would have come up much too cropped on me. I'm 5'9", and I added 1 inch to the sleeve, which again was absolutely perfect. I was able to use this fabric for the neckline and also for the cuffs. It's got plenty of stretch, which is great. I didn't use a specific ribbing fabric. The pattern is great. It gives specific pages to print based on your actual size, which is great. Sorry, not based on your size, based on the view, which is great. So you're not printing off a ton of pages. And the pattern is layered as well. You'll notice me mentioning that a lot because I just think it makes life so much easier. I really like this pattern in that it gives 4 distinct views. I think some patterns they kind of give different views, but there's not actually that much difference. But I think with these there is wholesale difference between each view. So for one pattern you get 4 radically different jumpers, which is really, really good. You get bang for your buck with that. It's a beautiful construction. I really enjoyed making it, and very straightforward. The instructions were really, really good. One difference I did make was for the tie. So the instructions just say to, because the front piece has got the tie attached to the bottom, and they just say to snip in here and then just fold it under, I think it's 1/2 inch maybe, and then just hem it all the way along. I didn't really fancy doing that because then you'd be able to see the reverse side of the fabric when you were tying your tie. It's not a massive thing, but I just didn't really like the look of it. So what I did was I made a hem facing. So on the front and back pieces, on the back I just did a strip basically of about 1 inch. So you can see here it's just tucked under. And then for the front, on the front pattern piece, I cut it across about here, I think. And then I was able to lay them right sides together and sew them in, and then effectively bag out the ties. I'm not quite sure if I'm explaining this properly, I apologize. So you can see here, this is the hem facing inside. So it does have a seam on the outside, but with this fabric especially, I don't think you'd notice at all. But it does mean then that the tie is fully front and back, it's the same fabric. And you do have a seam line here anyway, which you would because the pattern calls for you just to turn up the hem anyway. So I think it worked out really well. And when you tie the tie, you can't see the reverse side of the fabric. So very happy with how that came out. It did work with this because it's quite a lightweight fabric, and I was able to do a double layer here, and also the stitching kind of disappeared into the fabric. If I was making this again, and I will be making this again because it's such a great pattern, I'm not sure would it work as well if you had, say, a sweatshirting fabric or something a little bit thicker. But if you were willing to give this a go, yeah, if you need any more details on it, let me know. But I was very happy with how this came out, and I thought it was very fitting then that I was able to put in this Kylie in the Machine label saying nailed it. 1, because I was so delighted with how it came out, and 2, because the colours matched absolutely perfectly. So yeah, so this is my Jarrah sweatshirt. So really, really happy with this. So thank you for your vote on this about which of you. So yeah, absolutely delighted with this, and I definitely will give the other views a go as well. So that was all my makes for February. So quite a few of them, but just really happy with how they all came out, despite February being a slightly up and down month. I will hopefully come back to you soon with my March plans. I'm also taking part in Sew Frugal 22 this year, which is really, really exciting. So in my plans, I'm only going to have a few plans for March, because I'll also then be putting out my Sew Frugal inspiration video. Mine is coming out on the 18th of March, so keep an eye on that. And I have a few little bits and bobs of that as well, which I'm really excited about sharing with you. So thank you so much to Sam and Rowan for setting that up again this year. I think people are getting really, really excited about it, and I've been watching some of the videos so far. They're really, really good. So thank you so much again for joining me. If you have any questions, I'd love to hear from you in the comment box below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please consider subscribing. And yes, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you all again very, very soon. Take care. Bye.